I'm Peter Meredith, and welcome to the Writer's Review. Today we are taking a closer look at The Mandalorian Episode 4, Baby Yoda Meets the Three Amigos.
The Three Amigos!
Each episode of the Baby Yoda show costs about $15 million to make. It's obvious that the great bulk of that money goes to the wonderful special effects. The next largest portion goes to the actors, which is warranted. Then the crew has to get paid, then the caterers and the janitors. At the bottom of the list are the writers. Their budget for each show is $87, so it's no wonder they don't put in much effort. This episode mirrors the 1986 movie The Three Amigos so closely that Baby Yoda might want to get himself a lawyer.
Why is that suddenly wrong to do? I don't understand that.
We can start with the setting. A peaceful, idyllic town which is attacked by banditos, or in the case of the Mandalorian, space orcs. Hold on. Maybe the Tolkien estate might want to get in on that lawsuit.
I don't understand that. Why are you pointing the finger at other people all the time? Why don't you point the finger at yourself?
Either way, the poor townspeople turn to handsome strangers to save them. But the strangers are wary that they've gotten in over their head. But a little flirting changes their mind.
Well, we could take a walk and you could kiss me on the veranda.
Lips would be fine.
They know they can't do it alone, so they train the townspeople to fight. There's a big battle, which they win. And in the end, despite the woman's feminine wiles, the good guys ride off into the sunset. The only difference in the two shows is that one of them is actually good. As bad as plagiarizing a well-known movie is, what's worse is doing it so poorly. Forgetting that someone had hired the bounty droid to kill Baby Yoda, and that Herzog is still filthy rich and probably extra mad, and that all the living bounty hunters still have the stupid tracking fobs, Mando thinks he might be safe hiding on a mostly deserted planet. Since it takes time to track someone, he's safe for the moment. So right off, he looks for trouble and finds it in Rock'em Sock'em Gina, the shock trooper. She's at the cantina when Mando walks in, but she disappears. He follows her using another gadget, the infrared cam. That would have been really useful when he went down into the lair of the rhino. But her glowy footprints disappear. Where could she have gone? He looks around, but not up. She jumps down from above in a move I've never, ever seen in my whole life. They then begin a rather silly fight. She punches him right in the armor 6 times. Instead of breaking her knuckles, she manages to hurt him, somehow. He even says, oof, when hit in his inch-thick breastplate. And when he cracks her in the jaw twice with his armored gloves, she doesn't show a mark. I get she's tough, but please, that's stupid. I'm probably going to say that a lot, by the way. That's pretty stupid. It ends with the two drawing their pistols and having a beer. For some reason, she's very understanding and trusting seconds after he tried to barbecue her with his flamethrower. Then, forgetting that they're total strangers, they both blurt out their secrets to each other, which is what people on the run always do, if they want to get caught. Gina says there's only room on this planet for one fugitive. How small is this planet? Mando, as always, is easily pushed around and is about to leave the planet, saying, "We need to find somewhere in the middle of nowhere." And not 10 seconds later, runs into 2 guys who we'll call Terrible Actor 1 and Terrible Actor 2. They want Mando's help to fight off 100 space orcs and an AT-ST. Yeah, that sounds like a job for one man. Mando wants an unknown amount of money for the job, and they show him a bag with an unknown amount of money inside it. But he still says no.
If you need an easy way to remember it, just think of a bag of crap.
So much for being the good guy. The two start walking away when Terrible Actor number 1 says, "Aw man, now we have to walk home all the way out in the middle of nowhere." What a stupid line. And were the two morons just going to leave after being turned down by the first guy they met? Apparently so. But Mando agrees to go with them because out in the middle of nowhere is exactly where he's going. Since Mando is rich, he hands over all the money he had just been given to Gina so that she can be in the show. They pack up a hover sled and start heading through the forest on a day-long trip. I know what you're thinking. Why? He has a spaceship which he can fly anywhere on the planet. So why go on a hover sled? They can be there in 5 minutes if they want to. And I know Mando isn't all that smart, but doesn't he remember the last time he left his ship unguarded? And should he leave the Razor Crest right there in the planet's one and only spaceport for all to see? Did he forget that Apollo Creed knows what kind of ship he flies? Knowing him, he'll write on it, "Mandos, do not touch." They make it to the village. I thank the Lord that Baby Yoda is there because the next 10 minutes aren't just stupid, they're dull. And the music is sappy, but Baby Yoda is cute enough to offset this. While Baby Yoda is out catching frogs and being cute, Mando and Gina do some recon and discover the AT-ST tracks. And that changes everything. The two decide the only chance for the villagers to live is to run away. I think they're forgetting something. See those things sticking out the front? Those aren't antennae. Those are guns, and the range on them has to be miles. All they have to do is run back and get the ship. But of course they don't. Although that would be the smart thing to do, the writers are more than willing to make Mando look like an idiot, again, just so they can have a battle with a little bit of tension. The villagers are just as stupid. They want to stay and fight for the muddy piece of ground they own on a giant planet with no people. They don't have any guns, and they're all skinny and weak, but they have a can-do spirit, and, as everyone knows, that's what wins battles. Mando asks if any of them know how to shoot, and of course, Pocahontas is the only one who raises her hand. Do I bother asking the obvious question? Why?
Wonder Woman! Wonder Woman!
Sure, women can shoot, but why only her? And how did she learn to shoot when the village doesn't have any guns? Even if she was part of the Rebel Alliance, the math doesn't really add up since she has what appears to be a 10-year-old daughter. The Mandalorian takes place 5 years after the Return of the Jedi, and the entire rebellion only lasted 7 years, which means she was pregnant or carrying around a toddler for 6 of those 7 years. Her being the only one in the village who knows how to shoot is highly suspect.
Let me tell you something. You're suspect.
The rest of the village is made up of village idiots. But that's okay because Gina can whip them into shape in one 5-minute montage. She's practically a miracle worker. Watch how she turns this mentally deficient person into a karate man. Sometime in between the montages, they also build a wall of sorts around the village. Somehow the same group of weaklings also had time to cut down 100 trees and to sharpen them into points.
Right.
Now that everything is prepared, Mando and Gina slip over to the bad guy place. It's not far at all, a couple of 100 yards by the looks of it. I'm trying to see how far I can roll my eyes in the back of my head because the village, never mind. The camp is being guarded by 2 blind and deaf guards who allow Buff Gina and Iron Man Mando to tiptoe behind them. Once they are killed in unbelievable silence, the two see that the rest of the space orcs are drinking glow-in-the-dark krill hooch. Now Mando has a few bombs, and instead of finding the AT-ST and blowing it up, he goes after their hooch supplies. Let me see if I read that right. Their hooch supply.
What? What?
That's pretty stupid even for Mando. So they go to blow up the hooch and there's a fight. It's a strangely quiet fight. No one screams and raises the alarm. The bad guys die in poorly written silence. Right up until the bomb is seconds from going off, Mando and Gina escape just in time. But as they are standing there breathing heavily, a monster arises from 30 feet away. It's the AT-ST. It was right there the entire time. 30 feet away, hidden by a bush. They could have blown it. Never mind. Forget it. The monster, I mean the AT-ST, is a cool special effect, except that they make it act like a living creature. It groans when it gets shot. It gets hit in the eye and acts as if it's half blind, even though it has 360-degree monitors inside. Once again, it's dumb, but it gets dumber. Mando and Gina run back to the village, and only seconds later, the AT-ST is there. It stops and surveys the new walls. It sees some of the townspeople, but instead of aiming at them, it shoots one of the yurts. Can I get a, oh my god, that's like so stupid. That's like so stupid. This sets off the battle. Even though the villagers are now armed with blasters, the space orcs charge with spears. In France, that's called les toupies. Maybe. The orcs get shredded up, and what does the AT-ST do? Nothing much. It shoots some dirt and another building. Then Gina runs forward, and it shoots at the water right next to her, and keeps doing that for a while. All this time, the orcs are getting murdered, but they keep coming without thinking that maybe something has changed here in Stupid Town. We get a shot of the children and Baby Yoda, and they're still in the village. That's so stupid. Again. They knew there was going to be a battle and no one took them into hiding, but it gets a little more stupid. Remember the walls that magically appeared? Their purpose is to slow an attack and allow the defenders a huge stabbing advantage as the bad guys climb over. So what would be the dumbest thing you could do under the circumstances? Charge out from the wall and fight hand to hand out in the open? So that's what they do. Why did they make the wall in the first place? How many times can I say, that's so stupid, in one episode? What are we up to, 10? 15? Eventually, the AT-ST falls into the trap, and Mando runs over and blows it up, and the battle ends. With all that terrific fighting, guess how many villagers died? 0. That's so stupid.
I'm ducking and everything. Died in the house. I got scared. I dropped my hot pocket.
And how many got wounded? That's so stupid.
Goes to show what you can achieve in your underwear.
I wish I could say the stupid is over, but alas, no. It's day, and the village is peaceful again, and all the corpses of the dead space orcs have magically disappeared. Mando decides to leave Baby Yoda here at Stupid Town. Has he already forgotten the stupid magic fobs and all the people who are after Baby Yoda? Yes, he has. A bounty hunter shows up to remind him. Luckily, Gina, who had been sitting back having a cup of tea, magically transports out into the woods behind the village just in time to kill the bounty hunter. How'd she get in position to kill the guy? Don't know. Why was she out there in the first place? Don't know. When did she become so stealthy? Shut up. So Mando leaves with Baby Yoda, and the show ends. Rating this one is sadly easy. I give it a 45 out of 100. Stupid was heaped on stupid, which was heaped on a stolen plot. They have to come up with better writers, because the ones they have expect blind loyalty to the Star Wars franchise to cover their lack of talent. If, like me, you demand original storylines, I would suggest the Blood Lore. By all logic, Ella should not have magical abilities. She was born in Idaho, of all places. But once she's swept off her feet by the mysterious Eridan, this average American girl finds herself thrown into a perilous adventure that will push her to find the source of her hidden magic. Only once she does, her life takes a terrifying turn as she becomes enmeshed in a deadly magical game where lives and hidden kingdoms hang in the balance, and where no one asks who she is. Instead, they wonder what she is. To be precise, she is bait. The Blood Lore is one of 40 novels I've written, all of which can be found by clicking the links below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe. Thanks so much.